everyone, it's Jaden and welcome back to another Coffee and Create. Today the coffee I have is Starbucks. It's just a grande iced mocha. I got it because I went to Target today to pick up the D-Day album, which you can't even see, which I'm very excited about opening this. And because I was really excited to get it because I wasn't having a very great day today. But this has made me feel better, so has the coffee, and so has a lady that was standing waiting for her drink as well, who complimented my bag, and then when I turned to say thank you to her, she then said that I was very pretty and that my glasses were also cute, and that made me feel a lot better. So thank you to the lady at the Target Starbucks. That made me feel a lot better. But today we are going to be working on a plushie. This plushie, well, the same design you guys saw in my very first studio vlog. It's the Cervical Cancer Awareness Bat, and I decided to turn this into a Coffee and Create just so I could talk about it a little bit more because it's something that's, important to me, and I want to speak about it a bit more. So let's get started. Alright, so to start off this video, I'm going to be stitching on all of the little details of the Cervical Cancer Awareness Bat. And the reason this bat is important to me was because back in March, I lost my mom to cervical cancer. She had been diagnosed with it a couple of years ago, but she had surgery to get it removed. However, it had come back in July of 2020. Now, my mom had done so many different treatments and trials and stuff, and they would work for a little bit and then it would stop working and she'd have to move on to something else. And then finally there was really nothing else that they could do. Now that's just a little bit of a background on my mom's cancer, and while this is a video that is bringing awareness to this issue, I want to talk about the good times with my mom, because even though she had cancer, she still didn't let it bring her down. We would still do a lot of different things together. One thing that we would do together is get coffee. Now, that was a tradition we started, I want to say my freshman year of high school, though it could have been a little bit earlier. And almost every weekend we would go and get coffee together and we would just sit and talk. And we continued doing that, and even though my mom has passed, my grandmother does it with me now. And it's a really nice thing because it was always just great just to sit and talk and have a great time. I would always look forward to going to get coffee on the weekends with my mom because, like I said, it was a great time. We had so much fun together. Another thing that we enjoyed doing together was going to concerts. Now, my mom has been to an absurd amount of concerts. It's honestly crazy. And her love of concerts is something that transferred over to me. I adore going to concerts, and we would go to them together whenever we could. I remember my very first, I consider it an official concert. I had seen little, shows at Busch Gardens with Miranda Cosgrove and Bridget Mendler, but I never considered them my first actual concert. Now, my first actual concert was when I was 9 years old, and we saw Bruno Mars. He played at Jiffy Lube Live, which I'm pretty sure is in Manassas, Virginia, and it was so much fun. And after that concert, like I said, we went to whatever we could. Concerts are so expensive now. But if it was if a artist was playing at a venue near us, Charlottesville has become a bit more of a popular place for artists to play, we would go there. We would wait until almost the concert started and see if we could get tickets beforehand, and we'd go. I remember we went to a Tesla, Poison, and Def Leppard concert in Charlottesville. And it was a last minute thing, and we bought tickets that were way high up. And if you've ever sat in that kind of area in a little arena and stuff, they get really steep, and it is a bit freaky walking up there because it looks like if you were to trip and fall, you just topple all the way down. And my mom, she was scared of heights, and when we got up there, she started freaking out because of how high up it was, and she's like, I don't know if I can do it, I don't know if I can get to our seats. And I remember one of the workers there, she noticed us, and she was making sure, is everything okay and stuff. And, my mom was like, yeah, I'm just, I'm scared of heights and stuff. And the woman's like, just wait a second. She had like this little tablet thing, and I remember, she was typing away at it. And then she looked at us and she was like, would you guys like floor seats? And I remember my mom and I, we looked at her, we looked at each other. And then my mom was like, yeah, we'd love to take floor seats. And we got floor for that concert. I think, each ticket for the two of us was like $30 for like the high up. And we pretty much paid that much for floor tickets, which was such a great thing. And it was so much fun. Floor on like a concert can be such a great experience, even though it is so pricey. The last concert my mom and I went together was on June 22nd, 2022. We went to Washington, D.C., and we saw it was Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. And my mom grew up listening to rock and roll. That's what she loved. She transferred that love of rock music over to me. And we weren't sure if we were going to be able to go to this concert. And then we ended up buying tickets like the day before, and we went, and we had such a great time. That was also such a fun concert, even though it was so long. I had never been to a concert that long before. My mom had. She would go to like festivals and stuff when she was younger. And it was also like such a long concert. I remembered because they stopped because there was like a rain delay for like an hour and a half. So like everything got pushed back, and like the concert started around 4:00, and we didn't get out, I think, until around midnight, which was insane. And the concerts are great memories, and I have a lot of other great memories with my mom. My mom was a really funny person. I remember I would always get embarrassed, because I get embarrassed like super easily whenever she'd do like silly stuff out in like public. But like, I miss it now, even though, like I said, I would get embarrassed really easily. But, I miss it, and, it sucks that I won't be able to experience that anymore. Though, honestly, my uncle can be like 10 times worse. So I guess I don't really have to worry about that, because he's real good at embarrassing people. This has been such a difficult time for me, because my mom and I, we were attached like by the hips, we did everything together. But I remember like when she first passed, it was really weird, because I was way like calmer than I thought I would be, even though like now I've kind of been having a bit more like breakdowns and stuff, being honest, or like bad days. But it's slowly, hopefully, getting better. One thing that we use to cope, or at least in my family, is humor. I know a lot of people do that. I remember when oh my god, I shouldn't be laughing. But I remember when my mom, like, when she passed, we hadn't even left the hospital room. And my uncle, he was like, let's tell funny Amy stories, because Amy was my mom's name. And he was just trying to lighten the mood after what had just happened, which he was real good at. I remember the next day we were all together in my grandparents' apartment. We were all just talking. And my uncle, he was like, do you think Buddy's up there, with my mom? Because Buddy was our dog. He was a little beagle, and we had to put him down in May of 2020. And then my uncle was wondering, he was like, do you think Buddy's still blind, or do you think he's up around there, like, bumping into shit? And it was just so funny, because even though we were all, like, just having such a rough time, like, his stupid, silly little things that he would say would make us feel, like, so much better about the entire thing. Or I remember another thing was when we went to the funeral home that night, we were picking out an urn, and then, we had to pick out, like, a guest book, or we didn't have to pick one out that they had, but we were looking, and my sister, she was like, Mom, give us a sign, and my uncle's like, imagine if one of them just like flew off the shelf at us. It's just stupid little things, but it's stuff that can kind of help cheer you up and make you feel a little bit better, make you laugh. I remember even at my mom's service, we were able to laugh because before it even started, my little cousin, she was gonna go get something for my uncle, and she had stood up, and then she was almost like running, and then she tripped and fell like in front of everybody, and like you feel bad for her, but it's something you couldn't help but laugh a little bit and kind of lighten the mood. Or I remember my mom's favorite song was Highway to Hell, and when they had asked for songs to play, my grandmother wanted Amazing Grace, so we did that. I suggested Fly to the Angels by Slaughter because my mom really liked rock music, and I, thought that was a good choice. And then, my uncle was like, well, Amy's favorite song was Highway to Hell. And my grandmother was like, no, 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 we're not doing that. No way. And my uncle's like, well, what about if we just do, like, the instrumental version? And she's like, fine, but only, like, as we're, like, walking out, as we're leaving. And I remember after the service was over and, they have, like, the family walks down. We were doing that, and I remember I couldn't help but laugh when they started playing Highway to Hell because it's just, like, just the song in of itself, even though, it was her favorite song. And, there's probably people who didn't know that, and they're probably like, what? That's an interesting choice. And I think it was also made even funnier by the fact that the instrumental wasn't AC/DC's version. For whatever reason, it was Bruce Springsteen's version of Highway to Hell, which made it a little bit weirder and, a little bit funnier. But like I said, we were all still able to laugh and have a good time. My mom was like that even in, even the bad times. She was able to laugh and make us smile. I was always amazed by how well my mom took everything because cancer, it's such a horrible thing and it can just totally wear you down. And of course, my mom had days where she felt like everything was just completely falling apart. But yeah, I'm proud of how brave she was and how strong she was. I know I'm a bit of a weak person. I know I definitely could have been like her. Also, before I get off on another tangent, since there's a clip where I am not doing a voiceover coming up, if you are curious as to why this is a bat, my mom absolutely adored bats. It was something, she loved Halloween, and bats are like something that's Halloween adjacent that she really liked, which is why I made a cervical cancer awareness bat as opposed to like any of my other designs, because it was more meaningful and it was something that I could relate to my mom, because of her love of bats. And I also just thought like a bat would be good for like the whole design. Alright, so I finished sewing together the cervical cancer awareness bat. Her name is Celeste, by the way. I already printed out her tag, but right now I'm going to make a little information booklet to go along with her that basically just kind of describes like what cervical cancer is, some symptoms, and just a little bit of other information. So I'll show you guys that and then I'll get it printed out and put together. So let's get working on that. All right, so here's the little pages of the booklet. Once I get them transferred over to my laptop, I'll get them formatted in a way that once I print them out, they'll be in the correct order and I can put the booklet together. But basically, there's like this is the back, here's like the front, this is just kind of a little extra bit, there's some extra information, there's a little message from me, which can pause to read if you want to read any of this. There's just a little more of like information, get informed, get screened, get vaccinated. There's some of the signs and symptoms of cervical cancer, and then the last little bit is basically what cervical cancer is. So I'm going to get all of these set up on my laptop so I can print them out and then put the booklet together. So let's go. Alright, so as you can see right now at this point in the video, I am formatting the little booklet and getting that ready to print out. Now, like I said in the last part of my voiceover, I said that my mom really loved Halloween. Now, if I'm completely honest, I'm not really sure where her love of Halloween came from. Because my grandparents, my grandparents don't really like Halloween, but my grandmother isn't the biggest fan. However, my grandfather does. So that's probably where she got her love of Halloween from. And my love of Halloween came from her. We would always decorate the house. We would always dress up. We would always throw a little party with like our cousins and stuff where we'd make like little themed foods and we would watch horror movies. And, you know, like when I was younger, we'd go trick-or-treating together, because even though my town doesn't really do it as much, they used to go all out for Halloween. And, you know, that's another great memories I have with my mom is, you know, making, you know, food together, getting ready for the party, dressing up and stuff. You know, it was just so much fun. Alright, I just wanted to thank you guys for coming along with me in this little video. You know, like I said, I have so many fantastic memories with my mom that it'd be so hard to talk about them all, but I hope you guys enjoyed what little bit I talked about, and thank you so much for coming along. Alright everyone, so I finished Celeste and her little booklet. So here it is, like I said, just stapled and glued together. I might make a new one and like laminate it, I'm not 100% sure. Also this staple's kind of messed up, so I'll probably have to make a new one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming along with me as I make this very special bat. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please check out the links below if you want to learn more about cervical cancer, if you have any kind of concerns or anything like that, or just, like I said, want to learn more. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!